The hottest name on the quarterback market for the Pittsburgh Steelers is not anybody in the 2026 draft class. It is not Lenora Sellers, Arch Manning, John Mateer, who I am a big fan of. It is not Aaron Rodgers. It's Will Howard. And what the Steelers' plans are for the then second year quarterback who was taken in the 6th round that everybody believes is better than the options that they have coming up. At least a lot of people do. And it's time to dive into how the Steelers actually view Will Howard and what right now is telling us, what the past told us, and what the future is going to. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/all Steelers talkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers have quarterback decisions to make in the next couple of years. And really, they've hit a point where it is not about finding the next short-term solution. It is about giving up on the search and the pursuit of constant revolving door quarterbacks and finding an answer that's here to potentially be the next franchise quarterback. The Steelers right now have Aaron Rodgers, who looks great for 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who is leading the team and doing special things and keeping them afloat. And right now, the NFL is so chaotic that even the Pittsburgh Steelers, just at 3-1, look like a team that you believe can do pretty much anything in 2025. But 2026 brings up a whole new question, because what if you don't pull off a Super Bowl? What if you don't pull off an AFC championship? What if you just win the North in a playoff game? What if you win 2 or 3? What if you do get to the dance and then the Super Bowl and then you don't win it? Where do you go from there? Do you bring back Aaron Rodgers? Because that seems to be a floating idea that I think Aaron would consider, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would consider as well. But it's hard to determine if Aaron Rodgers would want to come back and say, I've seen this before. Most times it doesn't turn out the same. Most times you don't get back that next year. Your spark was there the first year, and I don't know if we're going to do this again. I don't know if Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are going to get hurt and if Joe Flacco is going to have to lead the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if the Bills and the Chiefs are going to get better or worse. I have no idea. So maybe I don't want to run it back. If he does, it changes everything. The Pittsburgh Steelers go into 2026 with their 41-year-old quarterback. There's no chance they take a quarterback in the first round of the 2026 NFL draft. Will Howard gets another year to evolve and progress behind Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully this time he's healthy for it. And then there are serious questions in 2027 because it's a whole new draft class. We have no idea how good that draft class is going to be, just like we had no idea how good this one was going to be. It looked great. Doesn't look so good right now. Maybe next year it looks better. Maybe next year it looks worse. Maybe the quarterback is a dying breed in college football, and it's becoming tougher and tougher to find those special guys. So Will Howard gets another year behind Aaron Rodgers, and the Steelers add to their arsenal because they're going to draft a wide receiver. They're going to draft offensive linemen. They're going to stock up this offense to make sure that they have the weapons and the tools around whoever is next and Aaron Rodgers right now, because if he does come back, it's one more run, all or nothing. This is it. But the Steelers are somewhat showing their hand right now about how they view Will Howard and the future of Will Howard. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and you look at their quarterback room, what do you notice? That Will Howard's not in it right now. That it's Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers. Will Howard is supposedly healthy from a broken bone in his hand. He was healthy come week 1 of the season. His original diagnosis was 3 weeks. 3 weeks would have taken you through the entire preseason and right up until week 1. Well, it's week 6, excuse me. And the Steelers still haven't even activated his 21-day window of return, which means that we still don't know if he's even going to come back in 2025. And if he does, okay, The Steelers get to look at Will Howard and say, what are you good at? What are you bad at? How much growth do you really have in front of you? And how much can Aaron help you in the next 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 16 weeks? But if they don't activate him, they don't get to see him. And the conversation of Will has to be the next guy takes a wild turn because, well, the Steelers might not view Will Howard as the next guy because they're making it abundantly clear that they don't even need to see where he's at. And no, the 6th round quarterback, no matter how much somebody wants him to be, is not the guy that you do not need to see play in order to determine if he is going to be a piece of your team, a starting quarterback for your team in the future. You need to see him. You need to see him in practice as much as possible because he's not going to get game reps. And then he can't be guaranteed anything the moment that he steps on a field with an opportunity to start because you haven't seen him in game reps. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers are spending a large amount of time, and I mean a large amount of time, scouting not just one quarterback in the 2026 class, not just 2 quarterbacks in the 2026 class. Every quarterback they can get their eyes on, they are going after and they are looking at. They've been at multiple John Mateer games. They've been at Drew Aller games. They've been at Arch Manning games. They've been at Clemson games. They've been at LSU games. They've been at Notre Dame games. They've been everywhere you could send them to say, that's a quarterback that we should at least check out, which means that it is abundantly clear that they are scouting the quarterback class and that they have their eyes on quarterbacks. It doesn't mean that it's guaranteed they're going to draft one. It just means that they are well aware that they need to highly consider the draft pick, that they need to make sure that they know every in and out of the 2026 draft class when it comes to the passers. And that does not bode well for Will Howard because all it takes is one. This is not a Brock Purdy special, most likely. And maybe I'm wrong. One day this might end up on Freezing Cold Takes. And if it does, I mean, heck, I love a good underdog story. I'm fine with it. What's up, AST Nation? I've teamed up with DraftKings. The next great touchdown is coming. You can bet on it. And the best way to do so is through DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers who bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. With the bye week behind us, now is the time to get in on the action. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen. Then use your bonus bets to stay in on the action and bet DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. And don't worry, if sports betting is not yet available in your state, you're fine. You could still join in on all of the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. New customers who bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers and get in on the action only at DraftKings Sportsbook. But there is a more than likely chance that if the Steelers do draft a quarterback in 2026, that Will Howard's time is over and that he does not ever get that shot to be a starter, that the Steelers forever view him as their backup and their number 2 and eventually becomes the Mason Rudolph of the next 10 years, which is a good place to be. It's a long, successful career. You've made a lot of money. You haven't gotten hurt. You've played in some games. Fans love you. Maybe it took a while, but fans love you. And you're going to retire pretty comfortable and in a lot better health than the guy in front of you. That could turn out to be Will Howard. But the next couple of weeks are going to decide some things because the Steelers are going about their business scouting this quarterback class. And what they're finding is that they're not playing very well. Nobody's playing very well. And it's hard to say, yeah, Drew Aller's the guy. Yeah, Cade Klubnik's the guy. Yeah, Lenore Sellers is the guy. Yeah, John Mateer's the guy. Fernando Mendoza's the guy. All of them have had very upsetting games. And really, Mateer might be the best of the group, but he's hurt. He's injured. Sellers might be the most athletic upside guy, but is he going to come out in 2026 if he's not guaranteed the number one spot in the NFL draft? Nobody knows. The Steelers might be looking at this and they might find themselves in a spot where it's decision time because Aaron Rodgers leaves. There is no quarterback in 2026, and Will Howard's the best shot you got. And if that's the case, it's going to be him versus Mason Rudolph next year, and they'll compete for the starting job. And the Steelers will not expect the Super Bowl. They will not look at this and say it's anything more than seeing what we have in two guys and hoping Will Howard's the better of the two. But he's not going to be handed anything. And he's got to prove everything he could possibly get in his NFL career, because if not, he's not going to get anything in his NFL career. Nothing will be handed to him. But right now, the Steelers are not showing that they have a huge sense of urgency to make Will Howard the next guy. They haven't shown that at all. Otherwise, they would have activated him from IR the moment that they could have to make sure that he was back and ready to go and that he was getting practice reps behind Aaron Rodgers, because they only have two active quarterbacks. You want three minimum. The Steelers have two, and they're very comfortable with it. There should be some sense of urgency there, and there's not, and that tells you a lot of what you need to know. Their scouts and where they are tell you a lot of what you need to know. But the draft class is not doing it any favors and is working in Will Howard's favor for sure. Maybe it continues to. Maybe it doesn't. But don't expect the Steelers to view Will Howard as the long-term answer right now. Maybe he just lucks into that situation. Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of Steelers to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. With that said, I will be back later for the flagship show. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.